Hey there and welcome to the video. Today we will be doing some basic paint chipping, demonstrated primarily on die-cast cars meant for Gaslands. We will be focusing on the technique though, so you'll be able to see how you can apply it to other miniatures. We will be using this Siku cop car today, because I have stolen its wheels and have no further use for the body. This style of chipping works off two contrasting colors, and in this case we will be using black and white. I have primed the car here in black primer. Of your two colors, you will usually want your undercoat to be the darker one, so once you chip off the top layer of paint, it will give you some nice depth. And once your undercoat is ready, we put on the salt. You do this by first applying some water, and then by sprinkling your salt onto that localized bit of water. Once the water dries, the salt will hold into place and will create a nice chipping mask for the top coat. We are applying the salt quite liberally for this demonstration, but when you do it, you can just have it where you would like. For these cars, I like to use ground up rock salt and also some iodized salt. The ground up rock salt is quite fine, and when you put that stuff onto a big puddle of water, it'll cover up a big chunk of the undercoat. The iodized salt in turn is quite granular, so if you use that, you get way more pronounced circles and dots. What type of salt you use will all depend on the effect you are after. But I think rock salt that is ground up works pretty well for things at this scale. After you're done making a mess, I find the best way to clean up the salt is with a hand vacuum. You could also just do it on top of a newspaper so you can dip it out afterwards. Give the salt some time to dry, maybe a solid hour if you're in some really humid weather, because if you want your next coat clean, you want there to be as little moisture as possible. Once the salt is dry, you can proceed to the next coat. We're using white paint here to best illustrate the effect. You can use whatever color you'd like. And once that top coat dries, you can get to chipping. This is exactly what it looks like. You attack the salt with a stiff brush and basically just flake it off the car. The salt comes off and you reveal the undercoat beneath, and you get a very nice textured, layered chipping effect. That is about how you do it. It is a simple technique, and I use it quite a lot in my own personal style for Gaslands. We will be looking at more examples next, starting with one of my current builds for Gaslands, this tractor, which I have yet to name. Like the example, I start black, I salt it, and then I go to white. However, after the white layer, I airbrush on the vehicle's color scheme, in this case green and yellow. After that third layer dries, I start chipping the salt. That basic layer of chipping the base colors is usually the first step I take to painting my Gaslands cars. After that, I usually pick out the details and do some weathering. And before we go, let's have a quick look at how I've used the chipping method on my other cars. Here I have a rusty orange undercoat and a bright two-tone neon top coat. This one goes from a black undercoat to a white middle coat to a yellow top coat. Not necessarily going for realism here, I just want it to look cool. This one is largely the same, black to white to orange, with the stencil going on top after the chipping. And finally we have black to white to magenta, with quite a bit of focus on the bottom bits of the body. And that about wraps us up for today. Like, share, and subscribe if you've enjoyed the video, I do appreciate it. I've got more Gasland stuff in the channel and more general hobby stuff on the way. Until next time.